winning is amazing, yes, for sure. But most of the time, it doesn't, like I've mentioned, it doesn't change your whole life.
Welcome to the only place where real, raw, and vulnerable conversations happen with IFBB Bikini Pros to give you an inside look at their struggles, strategies, mindset, passions, and all of life beyond the stage. This podcast is made to inspire, motivate, and remind competitors and the average gym goer that even the most extreme lifestyles and elite athletes have their ups and downs. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm your host, Celeste Rains-Turk, and now it's time for the Confessions of a Bikini Pro podcast. Today's athlete is a 24-year-old from Germany and one of the newest natural IFBB Bikini Pros who turned pro in her very first season, actually at Pittsburgh, at the fitness festival where I was competing at too for my last show. And this athlete has a background in gymnastics and years of consistent gym training. She only started her bodybuilding journey 1 year ago, though. So when we say she turned pro in her first season, like literally it was her third show. And outside of competing, she holds a bachelor's in business psychology and is currently doing her master's in management and entrepreneurship while working part-time in a corporate job. This competitor loves to travel from studying abroad in San Diego to soon spending the next few months living in Lisbon. Did I say that right? Lisbon?
I think Lisbon, yeah.
I'm like, wait, did I misspell that? I was like, no, it's definitely not Lisbon, it's a Lisbon. So after this time, she plans to prep for her pro debut in 2026. So I'm really excited to welcome to the show Maja Dahmke. How are you doing?
Hey, nice to be here. I'm very good and I'm a little bit nervous, but yeah, so cool.
Yeah, I'm so happy you're here. And honestly, it's just really great to know that you get to come on this show and this is how we meet, even though you were in America. It's just amazing how technology can connect us from all over the world.
Yes, yeah, that's so crazy. I mean, also like the time difference, but
Yeah,
that's super cool.
that's right. Wait, what time is it for you?
It's like nearly 8 p.m., so but still
Oh
fine.
yeah, yeah, and it's 1:40 p.m. here.
Yeah, so crazy.
Well, before we get into anything, I'd love to just ask you if there's anything you think about or like to do before your heel hits the stage.
Yes, so I wouldn't say I have like a big ritual yet because I haven't competed that many times, but I kind of found a little routine that works for me before like pump up. I usually take about like 5 or 10 minutes to just listen to some motivational speeches on Spotify. And also like right before stepping on stage, I always played this song from Demi Lovato, I guess it's her
Uh-huh.
name. It's called Confident, and that song
Yeah.
just hypes me up and gives me just like the extra boost of self-belief I just need in that moment. And overall, I think on show days, I tend to stay more in my zone. So, like being more quiet and focused because that really helps to calm down my nerves. And at the same time, I've really realized that in the future, I'd love to connect more to the girls, which are backstage as well, because everyone is nervous and
Yeah.
everyone has worked so hard for that day. And I feel like it would be so nice to share this energy together. Because especially I remembered in Pittsburgh, there was this one girl, she in my class who just started talking to me and she really hyped us all up and she was so sweet. And
Oh.
afterwards, we even texted a little bit and that moment or that moment reminded me of how amazing people you meet are backstage. So I really hope to do that more to connect a little bit more in my next season. And yeah, I will open up more and enjoy those connections. Yeah.
Oh, I love that intention for your next season because it can be difficult to really find your groove backstage too, especially when you want some of that alone time, but also you want to connect. So I think it'll be cool to compare your experiences from the first year competing to when you're competing as a pro and really get a different experience as a pro than as an amateur.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it as well, but I'm also like a little bit shy or more the shy person, especially when it comes to randomly talk to people I don't know. But I really hope when like with more experience that I will open up more. So yeah.
Definitely. And what's great too is like you'll be making your pro debut, you'll have your rookie season. So there's always an easy talking point. Like people will be like, wait, we haven't seen you yet. Who are you? Tell us about you,
True.
which is a special thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've got one of those stories that a lot of people wish they could have going pro in your first year. I think it's important to note, of course, that you've been an athlete your entire life with gymnastics from a young age to the gym at 17. It wasn't like you're like, I'm going to compete. And then you became a pro, which that does happen for some people. But in your case, you had years of athletic experience. So how do you feel that that history actually set you up for success in your first year?
So I think that was like really important for me so that I like had this sportive background already because when I started gymnastic when I was a little kid, I was like really, yeah, really also ambitious about that and loved to work out. And but at some point it wasn't like I think it was when I was in high school then it's some my priorities somehow shifted and then my mom like came around and she was like she encouraged me a little bit because to go to the gym because she was the group fitness instructor and
Oh.
so I just started or changed from working out to do from doing gymnastic to working out more and first just for fun and then I really like started to enjoy this and it became kind of a non-negotiable part of my life and also like my safe space where I can just clear my head and of course I also wanted to build some abs and glutes like many girls want.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so for years I trained just for myself with like no bigger goal in mind. But then at some point, I started to feel like I was missing something. And like when I was doing gymnastics, I sometimes competed as well. And so I needed kind of a bigger challenge. And I also wanted to see how far I could really take my body. And also around the same time, like people in the gym sometimes came up to me and asked me if I'm competing, and I always say like, no, I'm not. Where should I compete? What do you mean? And those questions, and definitely also like seeing more and more content or bodybuilding content on Instagram, like slowly planted the seed to start competing. And then, of course, on top of that, my mom kind of was also an influence.
Oh yeah.
Because she sometimes mentioned even that she regrets never competing when she was younger, because back then some of her gym friends, like they did some shows and when
Oh.
she was younger and they told her to try it out as well. And she never like really had the courage to start and also not the support system. But now she sometimes wonders what if, and I
Oh.
really don't want to look back one day and regret never even trying. So that thought kind of pushed me a lot as well. And yeah.
That's amazing because I think a lot of people could hear about somebody else's regret and not necessarily feel like it would motivate them into taking
Mhm.
action. So, I think that combined with your already missing competition that drive you'd have in gymnastics probably really fed that fuel to just go for it. So, when you did decide to commit to it, obviously, training was already part of your life, like you said, and non-negotiable. What was your lifestyle like otherwise? What was your nutrition like, your social life like? How did all that look before you decided to commit?
So yeah, like my nutrition wise, I was like always eating intuitive. Like I knew at some point or when I started my fitness journey, I knew, okay, I definitely need to eat more to gain muscle. But I never like really tracked anything or like looked up for what is the best way to gain as much muscle or to improve myself a lot. So just what I heard on Instagram or somewhere. So just take your proteins and so on.
Yeah.
Um, and otherwise, like I was, especially in the beginning of my 20s, I was like more a very outgoing person, like also partying a lot. So I mm, I would say like I was struggling with FOMO like very often.
I
So I
bet.
had to attend like every event because if I didn't, I had the feeling of missing out anything. So I went out a lot with friends and this definitely changed when I started bodybuilding. Mm, especially like in prep where my body or where I was so low in energy, I just naturally didn't want to go out anymore. So I just naturally said no to any
Yeah.
events and I was totally fine with it. But because the only thing my body just needed in that moment was rest. And
Yeah, for real.
so I learned that it's totally fine to say no to any to something. And yeah, just this lifestyle just really changed through bodybuilding kind of, yeah.
That's so awesome. How did your friends respond to these changes?
Actually, quite good. So the thing was that I was last year when I was starting like my bodybuilding journey, I also started my master's degree. So I was moving to a new city and meeting new people. And that was sometimes I felt like a little bit tough to meet new people and also like prioritizing bodybuilding. So I was sometimes afraid of if I'm not going, then I will lose this connection because it was so new or at the beginning.
Mm.
But they totally accepted it and they still always invited me to come and were totally supportive and that was really nice. So I met cool people there and also my older friends, they definitely supported me and they accepted that I sometimes, especially during prep, that I didn't like have the energy to meet all the time or um, but they were totally fine and were always there for me. So that was really cool. They even like
Oh.
it's so cute because they even like created this video before Pittsburgh. They sent it to me in the morning where a lot of my friends like said some nice good luck wishes and kind words and they cut it into one video and sent it to me. So that was so cool.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that is so sweet. And I imagine then when they found out you earned your pro card, they were probably like, oh my gosh, like so proud.
Yeah, especially because no one really knows what or anything about the bodybuilding scene and
Yeah.
didn't really know what is being a or what does it mean to be a pro now. So they
So
they
cool.
they were really proud, yeah.
That's so special. And like you've had your family support too. You said your mom
Yeah.
especially like encouraging you. And I wonder like how did she feel watching you pursue this and go pro? Like what was her reaction to that, given she had some regret about not competing?
I think she now thinks that I'm standing for her on the stage. So
Oh,
she's really like supporting me in everything. And this is really what I definitely realized during this whole year right now that or how important family support is to me personally. So honestly, I don't know how I would have done it without them. They support me so much throughout this journey. And I remember that my mom also like helped me practicing posing, even when we
oh,
neither of us had any idea what we were doing. And she came also to watch the first bodybuilding show with me, where we both were just sitting and were completely clueless what was happening there. And even though I usually don't live at home anymore, but whenever I visit, my family would cook my meals, and my dad also started following athletes and got interested into the sport. And like both of my parents often went to the gym with me together and like drove me to every single show. So they helped me literally with everything. Like
wow.
there's so many examples. Like my mom also did my hair in the first and th second and third show, and even like
Oh.
the tanning. So because we or my mom never like did anything like putting tan on, and neither did I. But especially at the first show, so my mom and my grandma did it together, and we
Oh,
were
that's
so
awesome.
nervous. But it's such a great experience or memory right now. Yeah.
Oh, that's so amazing. What made you decide to do your tan yourself with their help instead of like the promote or the show tan?
That's a good question. My I think my coach or I just asked my coach about how's the tanning going to be and he said I mean, if you feel confident about it, you can also do that by yourself, or not by yourself, but with help of others. But of course, you can do it like on show day as well. And I was like, I think I would just going to ask my mom.
That's awesome.
And she said yes. She was like, "Are you sure? I mean, I don't want to ruin anything for your big day." And I was like,
Aw.
I trust you." And like even my grandma had so much fun. She said, "Yeah, it's actually like painting a wall." So
Yeah. That is so sweet. I love that your grandma was there for you too and even came to America, right?
yeah, that's so crazy because my grandma, she at first was like even more like skeptical about bodybuilding, of course. She didn't like how lean I was getting, and like she didn't really like the idea of me being on stage in just a bikini. And I guess back at that time when my mom was younger, she wouldn't have allowed her to do so. But then when she came to my first show and saw like I was winning the overall and the other classes, and there she was just so proud, and like even from that point she even started to support me even more. And then like it's crazy to think because she's nearly 80.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then she also, when my parents said they would love to travel to Pittsburgh as well, then she said, "Wait, I want to come with you." And that was so,
Aw.
so crazy.
Wow, that's amazing to have that support in your first season and for it to end with you getting a pro card. I mean, like, I could just imagine your family in complete awe and happiness for you, like sharing that win with you.
For sure. And I was like, before I also, so before they came to Pittsburgh, I said to them, please don't expect me to win anything. Don't be disappointed if you only can watch or see me on stage for like a minute or so. Because like, I think it's normal that family always thinks that you earn it and you're going to
Yeah.
win. You're amazing. I think that's quite normal, but they don't really like know the criteria, and like you act, and I didn't even know the whole criteria thing, and you never know what's going to happen on show day. I mean, it's bikini. So, and then I think that was really mind-blowing for me because I don't know if it was my grandma or my mom, but they told me, Maya, we're not coming to see you to win. Of course, that would be amazing, but like we are there for you because we know how disappointed you can sometimes get when you don't get what you want. And we're coming to be there for you if you don't win or get what you want or expect out of it. And that was such a
Oh,
heartwarming moment when they said that.
that is so sweet. Like, I mean, they clearly care so deeply about you. They want to see you win, but more importantly, they want to see you feel good about your process and what you committed to despite the outcome.
Yeah, definitely. And now they even say that they want me to compete next year in the US again so that they can make like a road trip, a long road trip, and make some stops to see me compete there.
Heck yeah, that would be awesome. Because did you guys spend some extra time in Pittsburgh?
So my family, they went to the Niagara Falls before, like 2 days prior the show. And then afterwards I was traveling to Washington to visit a friend, and then they traveled with me and spent there a few days as well. And
Wow,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So when did you actually arrive in Pittsburgh?
I think it was like 6 days prior the show. So one.
Okay. Okay, that's what I was wondering because I feel like it would be an adjustment
Yeah.
traveling to a whole other country to compete. Like I could not just show up like 3 days before.
Yeah, no, especially because of like the time difference and yeah.
Yeah. So how did your experience in America compare to the shows that you had done in Germany?
Mm, I think that's like for me a little bit hard to say because I've only done two shows in Germany before.
Yeah.
And the first one, it was a regional show in Germany, and it was just such a cool day because I had no expectations at all. I didn't know how a show is going to be and how it's to be backstage, and I didn't know how I'm feeling being on stage. So everything was new, and then the outcome was so amazing and fun as well. So I can't compare that first show to every other show because that was just amazing.
For
Um,
sure.
and then the second show I did was a national in Germany where at the expo, at a big expo as well. I think one of the biggest in the world actually, so Fitness Expo.
Hmm.
So that was huge. Well, there were many, many people as well. But I actually felt a little bit more in my head than at the first show, that it f didn't feel like that good, but still a
Hmm.
great experience. But then competing in Pittsburgh, it was like so, so cool to just only the fact to can travel, because I love to travel and to do that for bodybuilding, that was just amazing, an amazing thought. And then also like the stage was super, super nice. The
It was
lighting.
such a nice stage. Like I remember
Yeah.
walking into the venue and being like, "You mean we're on that stage? That's
Yeah.
great." I mean, it was really, I mean, that was the best stage design I've ever been on.
Amazing. Yeah. So that was really cool and a great experience, but also like super exhausting because, as you probably know, it took so long. So between prejudging and finals, wow. I think it were like 10 hours in between or
It was
something.
a horrible, it was
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. So that was like crazy experience.
Oh yeah. And my experience was very different than yours. Like I didn't end up getting to step on stage at finals and like they made us wait all day. And if you weren't in the top five, like you didn't get told that until you were getting glazed at finals. So we waited all day.
Oh my God.
It was awful. So honestly, it was a terrible experience for me, but I did love the show. Like the prejudging was great. But the rest I hated. So I'm really glad for the people who did have a really good experience. And I think something that stands out to me about your journey specifically is this was your third show ever. You were just saying how at your first show you didn't really know what to expect. Your second show was just not as good as the first, especially with how great the first one was. Um, but sometimes I think, at least from the women I've spoken to who turn pro more quickly, sometimes feel a little bit guilty or like an imposter because they don't feel that they have the same knowledge or experience yet, and they're already thinking about like a whole new league now as a pro. So, but they still feel like an amateur. So, how do you feel since turning pro?
Yeah, so that's exactly how I feel, what you just told.
Hmm.
So so because when I started prep, like more and more people, especially my coach, they kept telling me that I have great pot or that I may have great potential. And since I'm a very ambitious person who likes to go after things that aren't like the easiest or like the more common, I slowly set myself like the goal of maybe winning a pro card in my very first season without like, because looking back, that sounds
Oh,
so
wow,
crazy to
cool.
me. Because that at that point, I still had like no real idea about judging criteria or even why exactly my physique might be good. And that goal was purely based on trusting what other people told me.
Yeah.
But when I won the overall at my first show, and then that I think that really like lit a fire inside me to chase this pro status. And I guess from the outside, I think I looked pretty chilled and also kept telling myself that it would be fine to win that or to not win the card or like anything. But and I just want to enjoy the journey. But deep down, I was so focused on getting this pro card and that I was already scared of how I'd feel if I didn't make
Hmm.
it. And in the end, I did reach the goal, and I'm super grateful for that and how everything turned out. But honestly, I thought it's so much easier to say, of course, now. But sometimes I wish I had collected more stage experiences,
Mhm.
um, and also like enjoyed the whole process more.
Hmm.
Because like the truth is, you get the card, you are happy for like a week and then what? So you get straight back to building, like growing and maybe
Mhm.
preparing for your next show, but it's all the same like in the amateur league. So the only difference is that you in the pro league, everyone is such at a bit such high level. And at the end it's just a hobby. So or at least for most people.
Mhm.
And it brings so much joy, and it shouldn't be based on winning one specific thing, especially not in like the very first season. So I'm very grateful for that, and I'm very
Yeah.
happy how everything turned out for sure. But yeah, I think it's more about the journey and who you become along the way, and that's what really matters. But yes, as you mentioned, like sometimes this imposter syndrome kicks. Like sometimes I really feel like that because I'm still so new to the sport, I shouldn't have earned this pro card, and because like the lack of knowledge I have and the lack of experience, it sometimes almost feels wrong that
Mm.
I've like or that I'm already a pro, especially compared to girls who have been chasing this for many, many years. And I'm still trying to learn to just be proud of it and to just
Yeah.
be grateful. But yeah, that's sometimes hard.
Oh, for sure. And I can say, as a girl who did chase it for many, many years, like I'm so proud of you, and you absolutely earned that and deserve that win.
Thank you.
So, whether you're in the sport for 3 months or 3 decades, like a win is a win and it's earned. So, you should be so proud of yourself. And I love that you learned the lesson of like it's not about the outcome as much as it is the process and the journey. Even though you got what you wanted, which was winning your pro card in your first season, it's great that you still learned, like, okay, moving forward, that's not like everything.
Yeah, for sure. And I think also like because now I'm also experiencing like my first off season and
Yes.
like everything kind of for the first time. It's like sometimes also hard to like because I'd also never had like a real building phase, that what to know what is normal and what's not. So for example, like
Mhm.
eating off plan, I do that quite often actually, but then I
Yeah.
wonder like how much is too much and how much is just fine. So that's also because on Instagram you often like see other pros, who are like it seems to be that they completely stick to their plan and like never struggling with food. And then I, of course, sometimes start like doubting myself, wondering if what I'm doing is maybe not like the right way. But the truth is, I'm still learning. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I still try to find like a good balance for me in my off season. Yeah.
Yeah, like you get this opportunity to find out what's your normal look like. What's your improvement season gonna look like in comparison to your prep? And I know that feeling too of like you think everybody else is doing things this way and therefore or looks a certain way and should look that way, or they
Yeah.
say, "Oh, this is how you be successful," but somebody else who's very successful says something completely opposite. So I think it really comes down to your intentions and your commitment and drive. And yeah, like you said, you're still green. You're still learning this. It's not like you've got like 10 off seasons under your belt and you're like, oh, this is nothing. It's like, no, this is not just was this your first prep, but this is your first improvement season. And all of us can say that first improvement season is is what it is. It's tough
Yeah.
at times. So
Yeah.
yeah, I commend
I've
you for
noticed
that.
that.
Yeah. I know, and like what's crazy too is like what you said is how going off plan, for example, it's like in prep, that's like a no, like do not do it. It's you've got to be really on point, but in improvement season, it's like yeah, I mean, I if okay, I walk by this store at the mall and I'm kind of hungry and they're offering free cookies, like I'm gonna take one for
Yeah.
sure, and that's okay. So
Yeah, for sure. I think,
establishing that is
yeah,
challenging.
just finding the right way for yourself. But I think also like in prep, like one of the reason it went because prep really went easier for me than I've expected it. So, and I think, of course, like normal struggles and low energy and like sometimes sleepless nights, and I was freezing a lot. I
Yeah.
needed to wear so many clothes, so many times.
Seriously.
But other than that, it went really smooth. And I think one reason of that was that I didn't really overthink everything, which is kind of funny because I'm normally a huge overthinker. But like doing prep, I didn't put too much pressure on myself. Like
Wow.
I stuck to my plan like most of the time for sure. But okay, maybe not in peak week, but most of the other weeks, if I had an extra spoon of something, a bit more vegetables, or even like a piece of homemade cheesecake sometimes because I love
Yeah.
cheesecake.
That's awesome.
I really didn't freak out, and sometimes I didn't even track that. So I just trusted my body that to handle that, and well, it worked out. And maybe it's not the perfect approach, but for me, it made like the process so much relaxed and enjoyable. So yeah,
Good. Yeah, that's it. You found your way in prep. Like you found what works for you in prep, and you'll do the same in your improvement season. And I think the only wrong way to do it is the way that doesn't let you continue this for as long as you want to.
true. Yeah, that's true.
So you're probably doing really well. And and if you are struggling, that's okay too, because it's part of the learning process.
Yeah, yeah, and I think especially at the first, I mean, I will learn from my mistakes or like learnings I have now for my next, hopefully next improvement season.
Yeah,
So yeah, just
that's right.
yeah.
Peace with food without sacrificing your goals as a competitor because you deserve to have successful preps, productive improvement seasons, and peace of mind year round. I decided to create a free 8-day food relationship coaching series a few years back that over 800 people have gone through. Because when your head is cluttered with thoughts of food, eating, guilt, you have a lot less energy to invest into the goals that you truly care about. So, this free program was designed to help athletes like yourself develop a healthy relationship with food so you can have your most fulfilling and effective preps, improvement seasons, and lifestyle phases as well. This is an 8-day series that has a video every single day, a full workbook to guide you through every single video, and you can respond to the emails with the work you did and receive direct support and guidance from me personally, which is, of course, something I love to provide to the community. So you're not only going to discover your ideal relationship with food, but you'll also identify detrimental thought and behavior patterns. You'll overcome guilt and shame. So every decision can be made with intention and pride. We will use expectations and reinforcements to seamlessly manipulate your behavior around food to be more positive and aligned with that ideal relationship with food. We'll figure out why you're really craving what you are when you're sleep deep in another jar of peanut butter or justifying that next cookie or continuously eating endless bags of rice cakes, whatever it is for you. We'll become crystal clear on why you act, think, and live the way you do so you can, of course, act, think, and live the way you want to. And we'll come up with some personal commitments that are rooted in positive psychology based on your current season. So this is a psychoeducational course. It is free to anyone and everyone. You can access it at www.celestial.fit/food series and learn more about it, as well as even get a sneak peek into the accessible PDF notebook with extra resources and guidance through every single workshop along the way. If you do decide to participate in it and you love it, of course, I encourage you to share it with a friend or a teammate or another athlete who may be struggling. Or if you hear about someone's struggle, let them know that this exists.
What do you want from your pro career? Like, what are you hoping to achieve?
That's a good question. So, of course, it would be so, so crazy at some point of the career to step on this Olympia stage. But
Yes.
so, yes, for sure, that's somewhere back in my mind, of
Mhm.
course. But I think I just take it step by step and just think about the next season. And because I also think it's very important to like don't forget the other parts of your life, even though bodybuilding is always a big part of my day. Also, like right now in the off season, I'm about it, and I'm also every time like focused on yeah, my really or a really good off season and so on. But like the goal now is to first build as much muscle as I can, but also enjoy life a little. So like you mentioned at the beginning, I'm moving to Lisbon next week, and um so the focus there is going to be like meeting new people, studying, and also, but of course, improving and working out a lot, so that when I'm back in Germany, that I hopefully start my prep maybe around February, and depending on how life goes, and then see when like I'm ready to step on stage again. And so I don't have a concrete plan now, but like I would love to for next year. I would love, so that's like my next goal, and a more realistic goal that somehow I'm going to qualify for the Bermuda National Pro Show next year. So that's my next personal goal. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, so it sounds like you want to stay natural.
Yeah, so for me, it's really, really cool to, or that I've been able to get like this far while staying natural. And especially now, since like I feel like more and more national NPC shows and even national natural pro shows like are getting more. So this
Yeah.
excites me to see how far you can actually go as a natural athlete. I would never, or I wouldn't say that I will never like take anything or so, but for now and hopefully for the next couple of seasons, I want to stay natural and really find out where my natural potential is.
Oh, that's awesome. I actually really appreciate your honesty too, how you're like, well, it's not off the table, but for now, this is what I'm committed to.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you have one of those physiques where you look at it and you're like, is she natural? Like, I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, honestly, though, I felt that way quite a bit at Pittsburgh. I'm looking around like they all did the same drug test, like they all did the polygraph, like they
Yeah, and
all.
afterwards we also had like and had to take another test. So
Yeah, yes, exactly. I'll probably have to do, I think, a urinalysis, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so pretty dang impressive what you've built naturally, and I think that's a testament to your hard work from a young age, but also then committing to the gym at 17 and grinding and obviously it'd be awesome for you to achieve those goals that you have as a pro and you're learning so much and what I admire about you is that you have priorities outside of competing. And one of the things obviously coming up here is you're going to be traveling to study, which is so courageous. I mean, to put yourself in a new environment while learning new things or somewhat new for you because it's a master's degree. So you've got some experience already to be pursuing that. So, what inspired you to do that abroad and leave behind like your part-time job and family and go?
Yeah, so I really like or love to travel. So I'm really like and always need something new kind of. It's like sometimes I really love my routines and everything, so they are very important for me, but at some point like I need a big change. And I also feel like that maybe that's wrong, and maybe I could always like even like in 10 years or 20 years I could travel as much as I'm doing or traveling right now, but I feel like everyone says, okay, if you don't do it right now, it's just getting harder and you probably won't do that. And you're also never going to be that flexible again. So I just think, why not? And I mean, also like now moving to Lisbon, it's just for a couple of months. And then even if I don't have like the time of my life, that's totally fine. I had that movie or when I moved to San Diego, which was so, so amazing. And that's
San
kind of,
Diego's incredible. I mean, if you had
yeah.
told me you had a terrible time, I would have been shocked.
No, that was really such an amazing experience to just live there and study at a like university in the US. It was so, so cool, and that kind of inspired me as well to just do it again. It won't probably be as cool as it was there, especially because um, my focus now is also on bodybuilding, and I'm going to continue to do or to put the work there as well into it. So it's definitely going to be different, but also a change. And I'm really looking for some sun and some warm weather and meeting new people. So yeah.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be incredible either way. It sounds like you're super open-minded to it, and it's for how many months?
Till Christmas, so like
Oh,
only 4 months.
good.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's so cool. I admire that a lot. I think that's wonderful that you get to do that and you're taking advantage of that opportunity. And so you studied for in San Diego for how long?
6 months, so half a year, just one
Okay.
semester.
And when was that? What year?
think it was now 3 years ago. So
Okay.
2022. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, Sandy, I grew up in California. Not as southern as San Diego, but I love San Diego. It's just like I think it's probably one of the hidden gems of California, even though it's not that hidden. I just feel like it's like untouched, you know, like there's a lot
Mhm.
still very clean and good about it.
Yeah. And I compared to LA or something so
Right.
much.
Yeah, you're picking up what I'm putting out. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Like it's very different.
Yeah.
Is like a really great part of Southern California. And I think that's amazing. You had such a great time there. And um, what's cool too is you are successful. You have this career as an agile master in IT, helping teams work better together. So, how do you apply education to that? And is that part of what inspired you to go for your master's?
No, so actually, so before my master's degree, I studied business psychology, was where I was more in like the human research department, and also like in consulting a little bit, like change management and so on. And then when I started my master's degree, which I actually just like I had different plans. Like I wanted to study abroad, like the whole degree, but this sadly didn't work out last year. But at the end, I'm very glad because I think if I would have gone abroad for my master's, I didn't have started this bodybuilding thing. So very happy that it turns out
True.
like this. But so I'm working like part-time as this agile in this agile master job, and I'm actually not quite sure if I'm going to. I really love that, and I really love to like work in a team, like especially as a more neutral person to figure out how the teams can work better together. So that really is amazing, or I really like that. But I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do afterwards. Probably like also something human related in a company, but I'm not quite sure. I'm still figuring out what I'm going to do with my career. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, you're still so young. Like you got, I think everyone can make a change at any age, of course, but you're still exploring it. And what made you decide you wanted to go get a master's degree then?
I think like honestly more I just wanted to have more flexibility a little bit longer and also to experience more what can I do later on, like because I feel like when you're studying you can go into like different jobs more easily than
Hmm.
when you like after your studies, then you probably go into one job and stick to it a few years and don't change it that quickly. And so I feel like that's now while studying, it's the time to experience a little bit more about your job future. Yeah.
Very cool. I like that so much. Like, I like how sure you are of yourself and you have a clear desire for novelty. You like new experiences, new things, new places, new people, new thoughts, new ideas.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, to be honest, I often like overthink everything as well and like get overwhelmed very often as well. And I mentioned I'm like also sh more the shyer p person when it comes to like meeting new people. And I feel like that's also like a reason why I'm always trying to push myself into those
Good.
situations where I have to deal with those to just improve. And yeah, but sometimes I'm still like, gosh, I could have or handled situations so much different and just overthink those things. So that, yeah, can be tough as well.
Oh, for sure. I get that. Like that was part of why I started this podcast years ago, was I was like, I don't talk to anybody. Should probably talk to people that I admire and also practice it. Like it was great for communication skills, great for my counseling career, great for everything. So I get that. Like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is it's wonderful to be stretched like that.
Yeah. And I think that's the best way to just learn how to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's real world.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So there was some things I wanted to go back to even, which is what was your feedback from Pittsburgh?
Mm, So actually, I didn't get feedback. I was
Really?
so so overwhelmed. And the thing is, because like at the national show in Germany, I got feedback from T Tyler because he was judging
Oh,
there,
okay.
and he said that I just in general need overall more muscles, and my glute is a little bit looks a little bit too dominant from the back or in the
Okay.
back. So I'm working on that right now. But he said, okay, but for Pittsburgh, because then I mentioned like I maybe where I would like to come to go to Pittsburgh, and then he said, yeah, then come exactly like this. So this also gave me like the push. Okay, I guess I have to go.
That's amazing. That's really great feedback to have right before going to that show.
Yeah,
That's
that's true.
awesome. So you're focusing on more balance, it sounds like from at least the back. Um, what has changed in your training and how are you approaching that?
So now I only have like 4 workout days. Before that I had like I think 5. And like 2 glutes days I had before, and now I only have one. And then one day where I only hit my shoulders, and one back day and one leg day. So every part of or every body part just once a week. And that I at the beginning I thought, isn't that like is that right? But yeah, I'm trusting my coach, and so far I'm growing and it works. So yeah.
I feel that when I had to grow my shoulders, it was like all we trained, and I was like, okay, but like my glutes though, like we should probably. I mean, my glutes look better than they ever have this season, which I honestly do credit to just training them less because I was putting every time it was a glute day, I was like, yes, and like training so freaking hard. But like the upper body thing, I was like. Is this right? Like I'm doing is like lateral raises and
Yeah.
shoulder presses. Like this is insane. But it worked and it was
Yeah.
it was
I
worth
think
it.
that's a girl thing that we always think that our glutes are not going to grow as much as the rest of our
No,
body.
literally though. And also when you know, like at least in my case, like I knew I had to grow everywhere. But like what
Mhm.
matters more in bikini is balance. So I was like, okay, well I have to get the balance first and then keep growing.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'll just grow out of balance.
Yeah, crazy. But actually, I think now I hate the glute workout the most. So I'm actually pretty, it's pretty nice to only have that once a week.
I love it. What is it? What do you hate about it?
I don't know. I mean, of course, I love the feeling of being sore after it,
Yeah.
but like I think it's too exhausting. Like sometimes I can't. I love hitting legs, which is
Uh-huh.
for me even more exhausting, but that's kind of different feeling. So
Oh, for sure.
can't really explain it, but I really love to do back. So that's I
Love
love
that.
it.
That's awesome. Back was my favorite for a long time, and then it became shoulders, which was
Ah,
my least favorite when I was first starting. I think that was because I was a volleyball player. So, it's
um,
like if I'm constantly needing my upper body, like training upper body was annoying.
mhm.
Um, I didn't mind legs though, because it made me a better volleyball player.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, I loved back so much and now I'm more of like a shoulder girly. I'm like, oh, I guess I can do another shoulder day today.
Ah. Yeah, shoulders is nice as well. That's true.
Yeah. But like, do you miss training legs? Like, it sounds like you're mostly doing a glute day. Did you ever train just like straight up leg days, like quad focused, hamstring focus?
Yeah, I have to do that now because I especially need to grow my legs. But before that I didn't have that. So that's now very different and like very exhausting.
Oh my
But
gosh. Yeah, you get on leg extension for the first time in years. You're like, okay, 30 pounds is good for now. Like
yeah,
it's
and
hard.
especially and walking afterwards, oh, it's crazy.
No, though I love the feeling like when you're cooling off and like you feel like, oh, I'm gonna be fine. Like I'm not gonna be that sore. And then you like start kind of getting in your car and then you get out of your
Mhm. And
car and
then
you're
you
like,
feel it.
yeah, you're like, okay, well my legs are now like heavy and they're
Mhm.
dragging and I'm not gonna feel great for the next 2, 3 days.
Yeah, but that's what we love, I
I
guess.
know, isn't that so funny? It's like, oh, it's awful. Don't you love that?
Yeah.
Worst ever. So yeah, I think what's really cool too is this being your first season and you went pro, like you've got this opportunity to really, although even if you hadn't gone pro, I would still say you would have this opportunity, but I think especially now, like you get to apply the lessons you learn and inspire people who are still amateurs, but also you get to apply it to yourself for your pro career. So what are some of your bigger takeaways from your first season that maybe you'd pass on to someone who's starting or that you're going to apply for your pro season?
So first of all, because like I was at some point so focused on how amazing it would be to like win my pro card in my very first season that I like when I actually reached that goal, it was like, okay, and what now? What next?
Mm.
So I remember waking up the morning after Pittsburgh. I only had like a couple of hours of sleep, and I already felt kind of sad because that everything that because I had the feeling that it was over now and that I would never experience all of this again, and
Mm.
that the like excitement of doing my very first shows and competing in the US for the first time and chasing this pro card, and well. Of course, don't get me wrong, I'm super happy how it happened, but to be honest, it felt more like a loss than a win because it
Sure.
was like a loss of a goal somehow. Because I had thought so much about that moment, but never thought about what comes after. And
Mm.
so the reality hit it very quickly because winning the pro card really doesn't change much most of the time. So yes, you can do pro shows and maybe some more doors are going to open for you, but day to day it's the same. And especially because I didn't had a new goal right afterwards, it was like this realization that nothing really changes that much was very tough at the beginning.
Hmm.
So I think it's would be very helpful to not be so straight focused. Of course, having goals is important, but also like trying to think what comes next, and also like because like when I was so after Pittsburgh, I was traveling to Washington to visit a friend, which was quite a good distraction. But when I was home, I struggled a lot with those post-show blues. So I was so in my head, and the jet lag didn't really help. So I
No.
couldn't sleep properly, and even the gym felt so warm that I was like scared at some moments that I had lost my love for the training. I couldn't even
Mm.
listen to music or to podcasts while working out. So I forced myself again to stay somewhat motivated and listening to motivational speeches while working out. And yeah, so the first 1 or 2 weeks honestly felt like emptiness, and that was
Mm.
really, really tough. And luckily I like already had a therapist, so I talked a lot with him, and that really helped me shift my mindset from it's over now to this is the start of something bigger. And people always say that in your first improvement season you can make like yeah the most or can grow the most. And so this like really got my spark back so that I'm very excited what's possible. And yeah, I'm more excited than ever before to step to that next level. And yeah, so
Mm.
this really helped me. But I would say to other competitors that they don't, or that they should also like don't be focused too much on that goal of becoming a pro or anything.
That's really, really good insight. And I appreciate you sharing that too, because I think it's very normal that reality like hits that, okay, I finally did the thing. And now what do I do? What do I have? Like that was the consuming thought and focus for months and months and months.
Hmm.
That then you actually get there and you're like, okay, what do we do now? Like you said. So I think that lesson of not focusing on the outcome so much is really good insight.
Yeah, for sure. That's true.
So what obviously you said growing excites you and the potential of newbie gains and the improvement season, but what excites you the most about competing as a pro? Like, I know you said you want to qualify for the Olympia, you want to qualify for Ben Weider. Like, what are some of the things that excites you about actually being a professional athlete?
That's hard to answer because I didn't really think that much about being professional in that way because I first just want to focus on just ex get some experience, get on the stage more often, and like just yeah, being on like maybe better time schedules now for show days.
Yes.
And like having like this little perks from being a pro, but just honestly just going with the flow and doing it step by step and just see what it will take because it's at least at the end of the day it's still a hobby for me. Maybe something will grow out of it. We will see, but at least for now, I'm just going with the flow, kind of.
Yeah, that's really great. And I would regret not asking you this. So, how did you choose to compete in the bikini division when your background in gymnastics could have made like the fitness division really attractive?
I think I never thought about fitness,
You're just like,
actually.
did you know
Yeah,
about it?
I think last year when I reached out to my coach, I was like, okay, I was even thinking about doing figure because I thought, oh, maybe my upper body is grows pretty fast, but no, it doesn't. So I had no clue about any divisions, and um, I'm honest now thinking about doing fitness. I think the risk of hurting yourself is would be too high for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I always have been amazed at like how fitness competitors get that conditioned, but then also perform the way they do. I'm like, uh, okay, like I'm
That's crazy.
lucky to get through my cardio at that point. Like you're literally doing backflips on stage. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
it's pretty incredible. So yeah, I was just curious because a lot of the
Mhm.
times I think a lot of people with a gymnast background will get asked that question, by most people, like, oh, you did gymnastics, you should do fitness. So I was just curious if it ever was something you even were interested in.
Yeah, sure. No, I
You're like,
wasn't.
nope.
I
Do
mean,
you
I
ever miss
still love.
gymnastics?
Sorry?
Do you ever miss gymnastics?
Yeah, kind of. And I at some point I also like do started to do calisthenics a little bit,
Oh
and I'm
yeah.
still like playing around with doing like ha push-ups, handstands, and also doing some muscle ups where my coach like is always like, "Stop doing it. It's not good for your neck." But yeah,
That's
so I'm
awesome.
sometimes playing around with that because yeah, sometimes I miss it a little bit, but yeah, I think I found my purpose and my spark in bodybuilding for this area of my life now.
Oh, yeah, that's so good. And I do think it's fun to play around in the gym. Sometimes you just gotta like treat it like a playground, have fun,
Yeah.
move your
Yeah.
body how you want. Like, okay, we'll do what my plan, but like also I want to go mess around a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to get your best advice. What would be your best advice for somebody who has never competed before but wants to, as well as your best advice for somebody who is on their road to pro?
So for someone who wants to start, I would say just do it. If you like have the financial stability and also like a good support system around you, then just give it a try and don't overthink it and don't let opinions of others hold you back because honestly that's still something I have to remind myself every time or always. So that's the advice for someone who wants to start. Yeah.
Yep. And then what about for someone who's on their road to pro?
Mm, I would say don't compare yourself to others on Instagram because that was like very tough for me as well. And if you need to mute people's stories, you don't have to unfollow them, but just mute their stories before a competition, just to protect your own mindset if it helps you. And then, of course, enjoy the process, like especially doing prep more. It's not just about like the end goal and like winning, because winning is amazing, yes, for sure. But most of the time, it doesn't, like I've mentioned, it doesn't change your whole life. And it what really matters is like the journey behind that, and because that's the part that takes up at the end the most time and space in your life. So just the journey and process, and also like celebrate your physique while you're in prep, because yes, you will be low in energy and you feel, or you will sometimes feel horrible, but afterwards I like actually miss that look and that state, and so
Oh,
appreciate it while you're in it. and
yeah.
and like as a final note, something that really stuck with me is that we quickly forget that the life we're living right now is like a life we once kind of dreamed of. And
Mm.
I think if you forget that, you miss out on recognizing that you've already living in your dream. So I don't
Oh,
know if that, I think it was a quote I heard somewhere, but it said like that I'm I'm not quite sure who that said, but what you have today is like what you wanted yesterday, and what you
mhm.
want today you can build tomorrow. So I would just say
Wow.
just believe in yourself, and but also don't need to rush. You don't need to rush. The stage will always be there, so you don't have to get everything out of yeah, nothing, but just believe in yourself.
Wow. Yeah, that's so powerful and such a great reminder. It's very grounding. So I appreciate you sharing that. And I, of course, want other people to be able to reach out to you, to connect with you. So how can they follow your journey?
Yeah, so it's on Instagram. It's Maya underscore DKE. Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, I try to start posting more, but yeah, we will see. Maybe in my next prep.
Love it. Well, we'll put that in the show notes page. So you guys, that's always on celestial.fit/podcast. If you're listening right away, it'll be at the top of the page. If you're listening in the future, just scroll down to the category section. Not only will you find all of the ways to connect with us, but you're also going to see a full summary of the episode, a bulleted list of the topics we covered, and episode timestamps so you can go back and listen to your favorite parts or share it with your friends, your family, your teammate. Let them know what resonated with you. And of course, it means so much to the athletes when you reach out and connect with them about their episodes. So tag us if you listen or message us. It means so much. So, all that being said, thank you all for listening. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, night, or morning, wherever you are in the world while you're listening to this episode. Just make it awesome.